Hi, there's a lot of talk about crude oil going to $200, and I'm saying to myself, is that a reasonable target? And so when I hear something like that, I just want to check it out for myself. And I thought I haven't done the analysis, but I thought it would be interesting for people just to see how I would arrive at that target. Remembering, of course, that we did actually put out an oil report to our clients on the 18th of January when no one was talking about crude oil going above $100. And at that time, we were giving the upside targets, and our long term target was $150. And we said that more targets would be generated with the price action. And where we got that target from was on the 1% point and figure chart that had been activated, and we talked about it. So we're still sticking to our $150 target, but I want to see if I can actually find some crude oil targets that are lining up with this $200. So how valid is that? And if we take a look here, this is my 1 minute, my 60-minute, and my daily chart. But to get to these big targets, you've really got to start with a daily chart. So I'm just going to open a daily chart there. This is coming from Refinitiv Icon, remembering that Updata runs on dozens of different data services, so it doesn't really matter which. There's the big spike to $140, not quite getting to our $150 chart. But the first thing I do is I just, with my finger, I hit the T key, and that puts all the trends and targets on, and it's arrived immediately at the 1 by 3 arithmetic chart. That's 1% of the price to the best approximation. And the first thing to note before we start looking at this is that the targets that were given to $18 and $22. I mean, you really can't live without these targets. People keep saying to me, where do you get the targets from? It's all in the point and figure charts, which we programmed over many, many years. But notice how those targets were given at prices of $90, and no one believed those targets. And some years later, this is years, so 2007, 2009, all the way up to 20, some years later, those targets were met. Then we had a target off the bottom to 86. That was met about a year later. And we got these two targets to 125, 126. And today we are, and these were given back in 2020 and August 21, 125, 126. And today we are sitting at 125.60, smack bang in the middle of those two targets that were given a year and 2 years ago. Call me old fashioned, but it's kind of cool, isn't it? So, how do we get to this bigger target? So I'm just going to vary the box size. That one, I've gone to a 2 by 3, which is not really a great box size. And even 3 by 3 is questionable. Would you use 3 units? We do have a target to 183. Notice how we're starting to get less price history showing. This is going back to the 1998 because we're getting reversals of $9. Is unusual, so therefore the columns don't change. Here we are at the 5 by 3. That's a bit more valid when we've got a target to 215, but really this, you can see here now, reversals of $15 means that we really don't have much history. You can actually increase the size of the point and figure, so we can go up, and so we've got 1 to 215. So that's maybe of interest, and you could even go higher, but you can start to see that as you go higher that you don't get the reversals that generate the targets. Always worth going down a box size 2, so the 0.5% chart not really showing there. You'd need to go to the 60-minute to get the shorter term targets. So the next place I would go is to the percentage box size, and I start with a 1% of the price. Press the T key again to put the targets on. This was the 150 target that was given back at 87, which is what we started raving about in January, saying that's where we're going when the price was just breaking at $87, and 150 was the target. Again, notice how these downside targets were given and met, so that's really quite key. So where do you go from here? So we can go down to 0.5%. Not much showing there. There is a target here. I've got my charts configured to show minimum of targets. You just hit the key. There's 147 again. There's not a low thrust there. So, and you could start looking at doing potentially the automated horizontal counts. So that could be one place that you could go for targets as well. But I'm going to just stick to the vertical targets for now. So let's go up a box size. So we go up to say 2%, because that's the next sort of meaningful percentage. So there's 2%. And we do have targets on the 2% chart to 197, 209. My 150 target's still there. So maybe there is some credence in this 200 level. And if we go further still, we can go to 2.5%. And you can do this on any instrument, by the way. So we can go to 2.5%. Those horizontal targets that I did put are kicking in. We've got one here to 223. Let's just go up in size here so we can see these a bit clearer. 178, 192, 223, 132. These are the horizontal targets. I'm going to just clear those and go back to the vertical targets. Just press the T key, puts them all on. So on the 2.5%, we've got 192, 223. So those targets are potential. And if we go even higher, let's go to 5%. Not many people would look at a 5%, remembering that you need a 15% reversal to get there. And we do have a target of 236. But I have to say, if the number one thing that I can say about the charts is if we you can absolutely guarantee that we are going to hit the $150 target before the $200 target. So for the moment, I am relying just on that nearer target of $150. We go back to the 2% chart. We've got 149.91, nearest down at 150. If we break 150, we'll probably get some pullbacks and some new targets generated. So yes, 200 is not impossible, but 150 is where I'm going. But it's interesting, having done the analysis, maybe, just maybe, oil could go to $200. That would be quite something. But for the moment, that's the 150 target is where I'm at. So just thought it was interesting to share that analysis. Wear your flour, turn your heating off, don't fund Putin. Happy charting. Bye for now.